Welcome back to the Engineer Dangler. I'm still in the shop. This is part 2 of a multi-part video series, I guess. Reflective metallic finishes is what we're covering. Last time we did tapes and plastic sheeting. Today is spray paint. Seems kind of boring, but I actually found something pretty good. So stay tuned. I'm sure that everybody out there has walked down the spray paint aisle at your local hardware store, home improvement store, Walmart, whatever, and seen these kind of caps and thought, oh my, I would love to have something so perfectly lustrous and gold and shiny and reflective, and then bought the can and sprayed some really flat matte sort of finish. And so this is kind of the height of I guess I would call it false advertisement. So here's the deal. If you've done any automotive painting or any painting where you really need a bright shiny finish, you'll know that it's a bit of a chore to do it. First of all, you have to start with a subsurface that's smooth as glass, and then you have to go put plenty of coats of paint on there, properly applied, so there are no blemishes or fish eyes or anything. And then you sand back with progressively finer sandpaper, and then you clear coat it, and then you take and you polish out the clear coat. All those steps might make this paint look better than this, but not by much. So I had this idea that if what you needed was a glass finish under the paint and a glass finish over the paint, that I might just take this and paint it on glass. So that's what I did. Let me show you the samples. Okay, so here it is. I got a sheet of glass, clear glass, and I painted the other side with the paint samples I have. Now, the paint types I used was a Rust-Oleum Bright Coat, Rust-Oleum Accent. This is a Valspar Metallic, and then this is actually Createx. It's called Wicked Aluminum. I use that a lot. And this is really the discovery here. This is a Krylon product. It's called Looking Glass. Really interesting. I'll show you more on it in a minute. So the idea behind the glass is that as I painted it on the other side, this side would appear as if it had a really, really thick clear coat applied to it, and should render it as smooth as you could get it, or as glossy as you could get it, doing all those normal painting processes. What you find is there's not a whole lot of difference. Let me show you in the paint booth with better lighting. It turns out, just by happenstance, that these are in order of like reflective quality. It just turned out that way. But you can see, you still get, or you can see my finger in there, you still get a very, very mild reflective quality. You can see this in there, but most of that is because there's a clear coat. And as you move down here, you can see it's good, a little bit better on this one, the Rust-Oleum. This is the Valspar. I'm going to say it's about equal, maybe a little less actually. And here's the Createx. Createx looks pretty good. And then you have this, and look at that. That looks like a trick. That's actually spray paint. Can you believe it? So that's a new product. Just discovered it. It's relatively inexpensive. It's a product from Krylon called Looking Glass. Kudos to Krylon. They really hit the mark with this thing. This actually, I believe, the method they use to give this that silvery shine is the same as the superchrome, which essentially is minute or microscopic flecks of chromium suspended in a matrix of a very, very volatile clear coat. So essentially what you do is you spray this like mist, and it's so thin that it forces those flecks to lay flat. If you put it on too thick, they don't. And if you've ever done it, you'll see that that finish ends up being kind of dark, smoky looking. Here's what I'm gonna do. I've got this lure I made on the lathe. It's a little popping topwater. And I've got a really nice glossy finish on it. I was going to actually silver plate this. But since I have this, I'm going to give it a shot. Honestly, I have not tried this on a lure. So it may be that I prove my theory wrong right in front of you. Let me rearrange my paint booth and then we'll go back at it. You've got to apply this stuff in the thinnest coat you can bear to put on there. If you stack it too thick, it won't come out very shiny. Okay, so first things, really light coats, shot from a good distance away. Make sure you've got ventilation. I'm wearing a dust mask. Stuff flashes very quickly. Okay, this is the finished product after 9 coats. A little disappointing. Not as reflective as it was on the glass, so I have to assume that the surface played something in how this came out. Maybe I rushed the coats too much or something, but it certainly looks better on the glass. You can see how reflective that is, and that's actually the surface of the paint. You can see the overspray, but I don't know. I think it's worthy of additional experimentation. I'm going to probably do more. I'm going to put a clear coat on this and see if it helps, and I'll show it to you. Okay, after a decent coat of clear, what I end up with a very shiny gray, unfortunately. So this has a lot of potential that I have not actually explored enough. From the experiment on the glass, you can actually somehow, there should be a way to get that finish, but I didn't find it yet. I'll keep you posted if I figure it out. Okay, I couldn't leave well enough alone. I had this lure laying around. It was black and shiny, and you can see that's much more like the results I was expecting. You can see how much more it looks like a real metal finish. Let me show you what we just did and how pathetically different. That's just a flat gray. So this product just really does have potential, because I didn't do anything other than spray this. I believe that if I had put on, you can actually see the ripples in this thing. If I had put on a clear coat that was really glassy over black and then sprayed it with this, I might get a really nice mirror finish. So more experimentation in the future with this thing, and I'll show you what I get. Thanks for watching.